Casey,
What?
I have to go back in time. There's something wrong with the podcast. I'll explain later. I just have to fix it.
Okay, you go.
Hey, you with the gun! Stop shooting near my house every time 39 minutes and 11 seconds comes up. You're getting real fucking annoying. Oh yeah, buddy, you want a piece of me? Yeah, I'm gonna take that gun from you. Oh shit, he's dead now. And now that pesky gunman will never be featured on Mind Over Movies ever again. I'm back.
What did you finally kill that annoying fucking guy shooting guns outside our windows 39 minutes into the podcast?
Yes.
Nice. I was
So
getting...
anyway.
Anyway, we definitely had no editing mistakes in Mind Over Movies ever. And if we ever did, not my fault.
Yeah, exactly. And also, not your fault, COVID-19.
Exactly.
So, I mean, pretty much nothing's Mind Over Movies' fault. But I think I should take a moment to acknowledge Casey and I, for the first time in a while, aren't in the same room again. So if there are any weird editing choices, they're all artistic, and they have nothing to do from the fact that editing two different audio tracks is hard.
Definitely. It has nothing to do.
Yeah, Mom's always been a very artistic podcast anyway, like that.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember our Dune episode? I mean, you really reached new heights there.
with the what was that? Was the Edward Cullen episode, wasn't it?
Yes, that was.
Yes, that was good. I was very proud of myself for that edit. It was very hard to do as well.
Yeah, I imagine that was a bitch and a half to make happen.
Oh yeah, but hey, good art takes consequences.
You do it for the art. And speaking of the art, when you were smelling your own farts this week, did you happen to catch a film?
I caught one film.
One?
One movie. Yeah, I've been
out in the wild.
Out in the wild.
Tamed it just like that. Which fancy looking film feature presentation did you catch?
I caught a little movie. It was in 1993 called Tombstone with Val Kilmer and pretty much everybody. Everybody was in this fucking movie. It was great. I really liked it. It was some nice unreconstructed Western stuff. It was real fun. Val Kilmer was obviously, that's amazing performance.
Doc Holliday is like the best character in that movie by far. Like, I can't even tell you who Kurt Russell was, to be honest.
Yeah, he was Wyatt Earp.
Oh, Wyatt Earp, right.
Yeah.
And there's a separate Wyatt Earp feature out there with like Kevin Costner, I think, covering a lot of the same events as Tombstone.
There is. It was not received as well as Tombstone was, though.
There is an odd amount of movies that happen like that. Like Capote came out, and then the next year there was another movie about Truman Capote riding in cold blood. And It's like, what? Like, who isn't talking behind the scenes? Like, what studios are not calling each other to make sure that no one's making a very specific and niche biopic? Like,
right.
Excuse me?
That's true. It's true. That happens a lot. I think it's like acquisition of, like, I don't know. It's like probably like writers writing like similar things at the same time. But there's no like, there's no, what's the word I'm looking for? There's no set in stone rule that like studios own a certain like property, I guess. Like you can't own a person. So like
Yeah.
you can like own the rights to a specific script that's a biopic about that person, but any studio can come along and make a fucking movie about whatever the fuck they want. It just can't resemble completely the other studio's project. Which Capote is like got popular, or not Capote. Well, I mean Capote's popular now because everybody's into true crime. So obviously that was going to be a big hit for studios trying to get their hands on some sort of story for that.
That's true. That's true.
But what did you watch? What did you watch?
I watched a bunch this week. Actually, I was probably my most active that I've been in a while.
I did see on your Letterboxd a few of them.
Yeah. So what? A pretty noteworthy one. Well, hold on. Actually, to transition from Tombstone, I watched one of the great modern westerns this week. It was like my third time watching it. I love fucking No Country for Old Men. Just wanted to give it a quick shout out and say it's a perfect movie.
Oh, hell yeah.
The Coen brothers, they treated us so well with that. How do you feel about No Country for Old Men? Have we ever talked about it?
We haven't talked about it in length. I know we've mentioned it. I really like No Country for Old Men a lot. That's another Cormac McCarthy novel.
Yeah.
And I think probably my favorite. No, my favorite Coen brothers is still probably Oh Brother. But honestly, No Country is a very close contender. It's great. I love it. In terms of it being like a neo-western, I think it's the best fucking one. I hate the term neo-western, but it's true. Like, it's what it is. And I agree with you. It's a damn perfect movie.
It's fucking toy. But people do seem to bring up issues with the second act or like the second half of the movie a lot, which I mean,
I feel like
I get it. It's
half
not
is
as
better.
entertaining. Oh, I mean, yeah, it's like, but that's where all the thought-provoking stuff is. That's where the title No Country for Old Men gets its name. You know, it's all the Tommy Lee Jones shit.
Right.
You know, honestly, I love it. I love it all, and that's just one of the finest movies ever made. And I mean, same year as fucking There Will Be Blood. I feel like they're two sides of the same coin, you know?
Yeah, I would have loved to been old enough, as old as I am now, for 2007's award season. That shit would have been crazy.
Yeah, man, that would have been awesome. And I mean, also having a podcast in 2007 might be like a really groundbreaking thing. We would like,
I know,
really
right?
be popping off.
I mean, shit.
And speaking of westerns, and also Johnny Greenwood scores, I finally caught Power of the Dog last night.
Oh yes, let's go.
And I really dug Power of the Dog. Like, honestly, I feel weird talking about it now because I feel like your thoughts about the movie can't be complete without a second viewing. I mean, just the whole way it's set up and the payoff at the end is just like, go back and rewatch it and analyze shit that happened, you know, in a different light. I mean, it's got probably the best hula hooping scene in all of cinema. So, I mean, that's saying something for it.
True. I forgot that was in there.
Yeah. I mean, this was my first Campion flick, so I've got to say I am mega impressed by her ability to tell stories visually. You know, like, this is based on a book, but I would say at no point are you confused, like, what a character is thinking, you know. There's so much introspection and there's so much deep thought and there's so many, like, lingering shots. And, I mean, she spells it out for you, like, what might be on their mind without them outright speaking it.
Right.
And honestly, I love the performances in this movie. Benedict Cumberbatch is great as honestly always, but I do clown on him for his Doctor Strange voice. But I really dug him here. And I think he's even still doing a pretty similar accent, but like,
right.
Good.
It's good. Yeah. I love his performance in that movie so much.
No, yeah. Honestly, it should be getting award season buzz. I feel like
it really should.
I really think it's awesome. And Kirsten Dunst, for that matter, too. I thought she killed it.
Oh yeah, best supporting actress. My best supporting actress vote goes for her in Power of the Dog. That's my first pick.
And I can't remember the Peter's actor's name, but he was really good too, as well as Jesse Plemons, who was just like He can't go wrong.
I know. It's so good.
But yeah, I mean, I'll probably end up watching it again this year and having an even more conclusive opinion on it. But it definitely broke my top 10. I have it at number 6 currently. And
hell yeah!
It could have climbed higher on a second watch. To be honest, I really dug it.
Let's go. That's exciting.
And speaking of movies from last year that I just caught, I also saw Zola, which best possible outcome for a movie based on a Twitter thread, I feel like.
That's what I've heard.
I really liked Zola. It was just very entertaining from the start. It's like the perfect length. Well, yeah. Almost. It does drag a little bit, and that's a qualm I have with it, is that there are definitely some parts that are more entertaining than others, and there are some choices that I really liked, and there are other choices that I felt dragged out the runtime a little bit, and or felt a little obnoxious. But for the most part, I would say Zola was a very exciting feature, and it's got some very interesting social commentary. What with Elvis Presley's granddaughter doing a black scent, basically her character in the movie is like emulating, a very specific type of African American speech, and it's kind of a subject of controversy because it's an intentional choice by the actress to show how trashy this girl is. But Elvis Presley, her grandfather, famously stole songs from black artists and got famous off of it. So that's just a whole interesting element of the movie I wouldn't have thought about if it weren't for the internet very quick to point out those relations and those things.
That sucks.
Yeah, that does suck. But I don't know. The movie doesn't suck. I quite like it, and I think that Riley Coe is not her grandfather, and she's great in the movie, and I totally get what she's going for, and also Taylor. Taylor Page, I think her name is. Plays Zola in this movie. She's fucking awesome. Coleman Domingo from Euphoria's in it, and then Cousin Greg from fucking Succession's in there. Have you seen Succession?
I haven't seen it yet, no.
Oh my gosh, Nicholas Braun is in that show, and he's also in this. He's a great actor. You should definitely track down all of his stuff.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I've watched so many movies. I'm just gonna blare through them. Also from last year, first watch, I saw Lamb.
Oh yeah.
Have you caught Lamb yet?
I haven't caught it yet. I really want to though.
Definitely a 24 slow burn. Lots of beautiful mountain Iceland scenery. Pretty wild where it ends up going at the end. I just don't want to talk about it too much because I think people should watch it and experience for themselves. But I definitely do feel like it dragged on a bit. They definitely brought the slow burn elements out, and I can't say that I always thought it was justified. And anyone going in expecting a horror movie will be severely disappointed. That wasn't me, because I see A24 and I'm like, okay, this could be any multitude of things, and this is foreign, so
yeah, for
probably
sure,
not. But that doesn't mean it's not disturbing, and there are definitely a lot of elements of Lamb that I'm thinking of still. So I'd recommend a watch, but I can't say that I'll be revisiting it ever.
Gotcha.
But yeah, still definitely worth checking out.
I've heard it's not like the best A24 film, it's I'm still excited to see it because it's weird. It looks weird enough, and it looks like it's right up my alley, so I'm still excited to see it. But I did, it's definitely one of the mid A24 movies is what I'm hearing.
I want to get ahead of the press real quick. The microphone's on my belly.
Okay.
And if a poot was heard or maybe a tummy rumbly, I'm sorry. Okay.
Get ahead of the press.
Just getting ahead of the press on that one.
Okay.
Before the gunman is revealed again. Oh shit! Sorry, you won't understand that reference.
You wouldn't get it.
You wouldn't get it.
Nice.
Speaking of amazing DCEU films, and you'll agree with me on this one since it was your number one film of last year. Suicide Squad. I rewatched that. Still really like it. Have you molded over anymore? Do you care for it anymore?
No. I've molded over, and I've still decided that I don't care. And I even care less now that the Peacemaker show is out.
Man, I rewatched it for Peacemaker. Well,
really?
And also because my dad hadn't seen it. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I saw that they did a opening dance number for Peacemaker. And that just annoyed the shit out of me. And I watched the scene, and I was like, no, I'm good.
What's annoying about it?
Just the fact that it's Peacemaker and it's coming from the Suicide Squad, and they decide to open it up with a dance number to be as wacky as they possibly fucking can be. I just said, no, thank you, I'm good. I know it will annoy me if I watch it. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
I'm not going to dedicate any of my time to that fucking shit.
Well, that's good. That's good. You know, I mean, at least if you don't like something, just don't engage with it. I think I'm sick of the discourse around that dance scene that I have the misfortune of seeing on Twitter sometimes.
Wait, there was discourse around it?
Yeah, fucking DCEU fans. It's Snyder boys mainly. The Snyder boys will come out of the woods anytime a new DCEU project comes out and trash it for whatever.
That's true.
You know, they can. And the dance scene is specifically what they were targeting. They were like, how did we go from this? And it was actually a pretty nice shot from Batman v Superman of Batman like flying through the sky. Taken out of the comic books though, so it's not Snyder's original fucking thought. They compared that shot to like the dance sequence shot. And it's like, okay, one of these was made with IMAX in mind. The other was made with a television screen. And also, do we want things to be uniform in tone? Like everything be very dark? Or weren't we just praising the DCEU for having varying tones? I mean, like, which is it? Like, what do we want? I just think people are so annoying because they can never decide that they want anything and they just want to complain about everything. It's like...
Yeah, I agree. I think what the Snyder, like, there's nothing inherently wrong with the dance sequence. I just know that it's not for me, and it will annoy the shit out of me if I try to watch the show. I just know I won't like it. So, but I think what the Snyder fanboys are mad about is that it's just not Zack Snyder. Like, they want to wallow in the pits of self-pity and despair, which is all of Zack Snyder's films. So, I mean, or at least all of his DCEU films, so...
Well, I just want to break it to, like, anyone. Well, no one's going to listen, and it wouldn't quell them anyway. But, like, it was in no way James Gunn's decision to, like, not go through with not Joss Whedon, but we'll get to him. I feel like we should talk about him. But Zack Snyder's Justice League, like, he's not the one who started the Snyder erasure, and neither is any DC artist who works for the company. Like, none of them are, you know, actively destroying Zack Snyder's vision or anything. They're just doing what they're paid to do, making movies in their style. Like, if it's not for you, I mean, watch it once, say you don't like it, and you never have to return to it again. Go back to the stuff you like.
Right.
I mean, there's 4 hours of Justice League. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're right. I was just going to make it like a joke. Like, back in the old days... When the studio didn't like something, they would just burn the negatives, and then we never got that back. The Snyder fans would not survive in 1932.
Oh, gosh. You're so right. I don't even think a film like Zack Snyder's Justice League could be made in 1932. No one was brilliant enough to be Zack Snyder yet. So
that's very true, yeah. Nobody was edgy enough to be...
That is still the hot take I probably agree with the most from last week is that Zack Snyder is pretty trash.
Yeah.
But not all the time, but most of the time.
Yeah, pretty much all the time, yeah. For me, at least, but...
Yeah, it's the fans, too, man.
It is the fans, yeah. Well...
Yeah. Sorry, before we talk about Joss Whedon or our main topic... Yeah. I have to mention it because it's dear to me. I watched Watership Down. Have you ever heard of it?
I have heard of it. It's on my watch list.
Yeah, it's like the most metal movie about bunnies ever, man.
Yeah, so I've heard. I've seen a couple scenes from it, so...
Dude, I mean, that shit fucked me up when I was a kid because it's got more gore than like your average children's movie. And that's actually the interesting thing about the original book is he couldn't get it published anywhere because they were like, well, no child is going to enjoy this because it's too fucking adult, and no adult's going to enjoy this because it's a book about rabbits. Like, really, dude?
Right.
But, I mean, he proved them wrong. I mean, Watership Down is one of the best-selling British novels of all time, and it's been remade, I think, for television twice now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Netflix did a show a couple years ago. I never heard anything about it, though. Just that it looked like PlayStation 2 graphics.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about it either. I do remember, didn't we talk about how it looked bad on one of the episodes?
We might have. I think it was like late 2020 or
yeah, it
like
definitely
that.
was. Yeah,
but
because you told me to watch the original, not to bother with the show that they were coming out with.
That's right. Okay. That's right. Well, I rewatched the original. I can say you should still watch it.
I will.
And if you want, you could even read the book. But who has time for that?
I've got too many books to read.
Yeah, exactly, man. Watchmen.
Yeah.
Watchmen.
True.
I just hate to know that Snyder's in your brain, man. Ruining it every day. Well, what if you hate the graphic novel, too? That'd break my heart. That'd kill me.
There's no telling I might. I doubt I will. But
okay. Hey, baby. Don't worry. I can't get hurt by you no more.
You shouldn't.
Did you see, though, this Joss Whedon interview?
Yeah, it went a little something like, "It's not my fault, it's their fault. Goodbye." And I was like, okay, that's great.
That was fucking crazy. Like, he had years to prepare to respond to these allegations, and the best he could come up with was like, Gal Gadot doesn't speak enough English and she misunderstood what I meant. Like, really?
Yeah, that one really didn't sit well with me. I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, yeah. Gal Gadot of all people, like, you can't use that as an excuse. Like, I don't know. It's stupid.
Like, she's clearly fluent with like an accent, but she's fluent.
Yeah,
and I mean,
yeah.
The other aspect, like the other thing, is he really doubled down on Ray Fisher, calling him a bad actor in multiple senses, essentially calling him a bad person too.
Yeah.
Which, oh my God, dude! Like, really, you're under investigation for like on-set abuse. The studio has been lobbed with like racism accusations, and you're gonna call Ray Fisher just like a bad person too. I just can't believe like this is the logical response that he came up with. And I also can't believe that I ever liked Joss Whedon. Like, it makes me feel disgust in retrospect at like works of his that I liked, like Firefly and the Avengers even, and shit like that. But I mean, there was a time where I did feel like he was our champion, and I don't know why anymore. Like, what happened?
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Like, I do. He does have some like movies that are like, you know, genuinely enjoyable. Really, I'm just thinking of his work on Avengers, which was amazing. But
it was pretty solid. But I haven't revisited it since I was like 14. You know, like I think I saw Avengers like 4 or 5 times back in 2012, and I can't say that I've ever rewatched that original movie since.
Yeah, I definitely have. I've watched it a good handful of times since it's been out, and it always holds up, and it always seems to be just as good as I remember it, which it's a 5-star movie for me.
Oh, yeah, man.
So, like, yeah, it's great. But, yeah, it's... his work on the Justice League is what undid everything. That's when the allegations started coming out. Was around that. Was it not around that time when he was when he was doing Justice League, yeah.
Especially when the Snyder cut was getting, you know, pressure to release that hashtag trending. Like, I think that's around the time Ray Fisher was like, this happened, and then Gal Gadot followed and was like, hey, he threatened my career. And then someone from Buffy the Vampire Slayer was even like, oh, he's been doing it since back then. And so it's like come to light that that's always been the case. Like this has always been his on-set behavior. Which, I mean, let's fucking get these problematic directors too. Like, well, and I don't mean like in a mob mentality culture, cancel culture like sense, but like a lot of shitty actors with piss poor on-set behavior have been, finally paying the price for being assholes all the goddamn time.
Right.
Like Jeff Garlin, I think, is getting into a heap of trouble for his behavior on several sets. So let's see these sets get safer for people. Like, fuck people like Joss Whedon, kick them out. We don't want them.
Right.
Don't let these people make movies. Especially a guy who writes like all of the movies he makes are late 90s feminist movies, which are horribly dated by today's standards.
True. Very true. I'm interested to see how it continues to play out. Obviously, he doesn't have a job anymore. But I'm interested to see what else he says, or if there's any legal proceedings with this.
Yeah, I wonder. He might make another triumphant interview and be like, "Oh, everything in that first interview was just a misunderstanding. I didn't say that."
True. The interviewer didn't speak English. Wasn't her first language. She didn't understand me.
I use flowery language a lot. She just misunderstood me when she was writing it down. Like that was fucked up of her.
Yeah. What a piece of shit. I hope he doesn't make movies anymore.
Speaking of pieces of shit, I don't know how to transition out of these things all the time, Casey. I'm just
you
a
do your
simple
best.
lad.
Yeah.
I do, and my best is pretty shitty.
No, baby.
Hey, we have a slight topic today.
We do.
A little mini baby.
It's a little mini baby.
There's a trend going on Instagram and Twitter. 10 movies that define me. And I thought that looked really cute and fun, so we're doing it.
Yes,
but we're gonna do 5 because when you put 5 and 5 together, what's that make, Casey?
That makes 10.
And that makes the world go round. Amen,
That's
brother.
true. Amen.
So,
man.
do you even have 5 movies you like? I mean, I know with you that's kind of hard.
Yeah, I've only ever given 2 films 5 stars, and that's The Next Karate Kid and Monsters, Inc. Those are my 2 5-star movies.
Oh yeah, the Next Karate Kid slaps. They should have gone in that direction. Cancel Cobra Kai. Bring back. Who the fuck was in the
Hilary
Next
Swank?
Karate Kid? Hilary Swank. Oh my god.
Swank, yeah.
Yeah, she's down bad doing fucking $1 Million Baby. Bring her back the real blockbuster franchise.
Oh yeah, definitely. She needs this shit. No. But yeah, I like this idea. I'm excited to do this. It's fun.
So, I mean, what in the life of Casey, if you had to let people know 5 movies to get to know you, what would be the first one of those films?
Well, the first one of those is a little indie film that I don't think a whole lot of people know about. It's the second part in a trilogy of films. It's made by one of my favorite directors, and it's the early 2000s. You might know what movie I'm talking about. It's Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest.
Wait, copyright. And also, you tricked me. You said indie movie, and so I totally got thrown off.
I thought by everything I was saying, everybody was going to be like, okay, he's going to say The Dark Knight. But no, I didn't. I tricked you there. Because Gore Verbinski is one of my favorite directors. He's weird, and I love him. And all of his movies get critically panned, and I'm like, why? These are amazing.
Yeah, you're even a Rango stan, man.
I am a Rango stan, definitely. He's just so good, and his Pirates trilogy is amazing. And I think the best one is Dead Man's Chest. Everybody seems to fucking agree with me, but I am standing firm. Dead Man's Chest is a fucking like this is a great movie, and it has everything. It has a lot of things that I love. I love pirates. I love the pirate aesthetic. I think there needs to be more pirate movies. They're notoriously horrible at the box office. Nobody seems to like pirates. Except for when these films came out. And it involves one of my favorite, fucking, I guess you could make it's either eldritch horror or a cryptid, whichever, you decide to believe, but the Kraken, however you want to say it. I love that creature, and they did it so good. They did him so good with the sequences where the Kraken attacks the ship, and then the Black Pearl sequence at the end is fucking amazing. And I love it so much. And there's just so much adventure in the film too. Like it's like swashbuckling, it's humor, but it's a sprawling like mega adventure. They go to all these different like places and islands, and the story is really cool. I think like Davy Jones, having his heart in a chest. It's just cool. I think it's great world building, and it's a great addition to pirate canon. And I love it. And I think it's Pirates of the Caribbean.
I feel like Dead Man's Chest also is the knockout swing.
Yeah.
And World's End is where it went off the rails. Like I feel like when people are like, trashing the pirate sequels, they shouldn't be throwing Dead Man's Chest in there ever.
No,
like,
never. And I go ahead.
Oh, sorry. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, I do still enjoy it, World's End, but I do agree it is probably the weakest one from the original trilogy.
Yeah, and I was going to say, World's End is leagues above Stranger Tides and the other one.
yeah, Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Oh, yeah. Javier Bardem giving his best performance ever.
Right.
Isn't that what he sounds like? He's got like black blood in his mouth the whole time, right?
Yeah, he's like.
That was a very 2018, 2017, 2019. When did that movie come out? I don't fucking care.
2015, I think.
Wait, what? That one?
No, it didn't.
No
that was
way.
2017. It was 2017.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
My bad. Yeah.
SMH. And they haven't done another one. That's crazy.
No,
I definitely thought that we would never be rid of pirates in that capacity.
Right. I was ready for it, but oh well.
You were ready for more?
I'm ready for more, yeah. Because
you're like, beat
I
the
just
dead
keep.
horse?
Well, yeah, kind of. Because I just keep hoping one of them will be as good as Dead Man's Chest was, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a movie as crazy and willing to take risks and just as goofy as Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest was. Like, that movie consumed like probably 4 whole years of my life. I just was inhaling just everything about Pirates of the Caribbean, and Dead Man's Chest was just like that movie for me. I'm ready for more movies like it. Gore Verbinski, please keep directing films.
Yeah, Cure for Wellness 2. Drop it soon, man.
Please. That's another movie that critics were like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, I don't know, but I love it.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. Mainly because at the time when I would have watched it, critics were all like hating on it.
Yeah. Well, me and Luke went and saw it in the theater when it came out. And I don't know. I thought it was, it's not like great, but it's good. I liked it. I honestly recommend you check it out. You might like it. I don't know.
I think I will sometime. Don't know when, but
Yeah.
I think I will.
Hell yeah.
It's definitely one I wouldn't write off.
For sure. What's your film? Your first film?
I think my first one, it's going to sound like a shit post, but I'm being dead serious here.
Okay.
Okay? I'm being fucking dead serious, Casey.
Okay.
The Room.
Okay, I can see it.
I feel like people need to know that I love this movie because it represents my love of outsider cinema. People who have no idea how to fucking make movies, just trying it and failing horribly. But I love it. I think I've watched The Room more times than most of the movies in my top 10 favorite movies of all time list. And I would probably put The Room in my top 10 favorite movies list because it never stops being so fucking funny to me.
Okay.
I'm addicted to showing this movie to people who haven't had the privilege of seeing it before. And yeah, it's slow. It meanders. It's got terrible acting. It's got the worst sex scenes in all of cinema and terrible 90s R&B to score all of it. And when it's not 90s R&B, it's random, like, royalty-free music that he seems to have pulled off the internet. And that's what makes it great.
Yeah. I applaud you for your sincerity here.
Yeah, I love it. And I mean, having read The Disaster Artist, I hate that fucking movie. I hate the movie.
Yeah.
But the book gave me a greater appreciation for the actors who put it on. And, you know, everyone was pretty much a good sport about being in the worst movie of all time. So
right.
I commend them for it, and I love it. So The
Nice.
Room, man. The Room.
The Room. Oh, good old The Room. I still haven't watched it all the way through. I'm
going to try and fix that this year, Casey. I want to have like a big proper get together, you know, get plastic spoons to throw at the screen when the framed pictures of the spoons are in his apartment, and you know, you got to send people to a certain corner of the screen when he waves. Like, I want to do it all. Maybe even dress up. Everyone has to be a character.
Okay. I look forward to that.
Indeed. You don't have to dress up, baby. It's okay. You're the exemption.
Okay. I'll be the football that they toss back and forth on the roof.
There you go. They toss it around in a lot of other locales too. You're going to be excited to see where else it gets tossed. Just keep watching. They're going to toss it again. Just so you know.
Okay.
Okay, I think for that scene alone where they all get dressed up in tuxedos and you're like, what are they doing?
Uh-huh.
And then they get together and they start throwing the football around and then it's over. That was the whole purpose of them getting dressed up in tuxedos. That's my favorite scene in all of cinema.
Nice.
What's your next movie, Casey?
My next movie is, honestly, it's a treasure. It is probably my favorite movie with Kevin Bacon. It was a straight to DVD B-movie creature feature that got so fucking popular that they're still making them. And I haven't watched any of the newer ones, but the first 4 were some of me and my family's favorite movies to watch together. And it's Tremors. Tremors is so much fucking fun, and it's kind of like the start of my like passion for like creature features, like just movies about, you know, I mean, exactly what it is, just like creatures, like, you know, big ass animals or big ass like alien shits terrorizing people. Tremors is fucking awesome. And I have you seen it?
I've never seen Tremors, but I want to real bad. It looks like a wonderful time.
It is. We're gonna fix that this year, Isaac. You're gonna watch Tremors. Tremors is, it's so fun. It's just, you'll never find a more fun movie. Like, and it's not even that it's not even bad. Honestly, like most straight to DVD films are like, what the fuck? But like, honestly, I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it gets lumped in with a bunch of movies that are like, this movie's bad, but also we love it. It's got a cult following. Like, yeah, it has a cult following, but if you actually watch the movie, it's not a bad movie. Like, the script is pretty good. Some of the acting may be hammed up. Fucking Reba McEntire's in this thing. It's crazy. It's crazy, but it's awesome. And it's
not
like,
Anaconda.
It's not Anaconda, which Anaconda's almost ended up on this list. Let me just say, Tremors and Anaconda being like the bad one, like kind of like the bad movie that we love. Honestly, don't think Tremors is honestly bad. I think it's good. I think it's great, and it's very original. And it's also got this Western aesthetic. Like, that just makes me love it even more. You know, it's a creature feature that's like a Western almost, and it's got these wonderful, weird cast of characters. I don't know. I think it's great.
That I'm sold, man. I wanna see it immediately, and knowing how important it is to you. I mean, baby, I want to do right by you. I want you to fix me. Show me.
I will. I can fix him.
Says man who is far worse. Just kidding.
True. No, but yeah, that's my next pick. What's your next pick?
Okay, baby. Okay, you want to know my next pick?
I do.
Are you sure you want to know?
I think so.
Okay. Well, I want to tell you. I just have to. Yeah, to be honest, I told Casey last night to get 10 movies together, and now I'm having a hard time cutting it down to 5. Okay. I'm going to be staunch about this.
Okay.
I'd say the next quintessential Isaac film is probably Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Okay.
It's not even my favorite Wright movie, but it's close, you know.
Uh-huh.
I just love this style of comedy, you know, visually stunning, lots of just like the amount of gags in this movie. Like, I don't think it has any room to fail, because if you don't think one joke's funny, there's another joke coming up that is just as funny. This or Hot Rod was going to be my big example of comedies like this that I just really love. And yeah,
Right.
I think I've seen it like 10 times. Just a wonderful tribute to nerd culture, too. I love movies that have lots of smart references to nerd culture. I definitely don't care for like sloppy, like shitty, like, oh, that's a thing that existed. Like, oh, what am I trying to think of? Space Jam. Like,
Right.
Space Jam: A New Legacy. That's not at all what I mean when I'm saying like I love reference humor, but I do love Scott Pilgrim versus the World, where they emulate that style, but they don't directly, you know, like they emulate a lot of video game styles in this movie and a lot of movie styles, but they never directly take the thing, show it to you, and go laugh because you remember that. Like,
Right.
the only instance in this movie where they do that, I think, is with Zelda. But even that, it's tasteful. Like, they use that musical cue because it fits the scene with Ramona walking through like the school hallway. And I don't know. I just fucking love this movie so much. And I think if I were to introduce people to Edgar Wright or just like fun comedies like this, I think Scott Pilgrim versus the World, you can't go wrong showing it to people. It's very dear to me.
I agree. It was my first. Wait, no, it wasn't. It was my second Edgar Wright film I ever watched.
What was your first?
My first was, believe it was Sean. No, it was Hot Fuzz. That was
Nice.
the first one. That was my first Edgar Wright exposure. Was Hot Fuzz.
That's my favorite. I love
Yeah.
Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz. It's fun. I rewatched it not too long ago. It's so fucking good. And so is Scott Pilgrim too. Honestly, I love Scott Pilgrim as well.
No, it was a hard choice between Hot Fuzz or Scott Pilgrim, because I've watched them both like maybe 10 times.
Yeah.
And I never get tired of them, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
What's one of yours though, man?
Let me see here. I too, like you, am having a hard time cutting this down, but I think I've got it. Yeah. So my next film is a little old film by the great Steven Soderbergh. And if you know me, you know I like heists. And this may not be the film you think I'm going to say. It was almost that film, but it's not. I'm talking about Logan Lucky.
Oh, really?
Yes. This movie has quickly become one of my favorite movies to rewatch. I believe I've seen it like 3 times now. First time I watched it was in the theater, and I didn't know what to think about it. I knew I liked it. I knew because it's a heist film. I love heists, like heist movies, like Ocean's 11. Obviously, that's one of my favorites. But there was something about Logan Lucky that was just so like interesting and like different, especially Daniel Craig being in this thing as like doing like a southern accent. It was amazing. Adam Driver, Channing Tatum. and this weird, really weird stuff happens in this movie, and it's just a really funny movie as well. And I think the script is super tight. But after I watched it, the second and third time, I was like, no, this is like the quintessential heist movie for me. And it hits all the right beats that I think, it's like the movie is like the kind of screenplays that I want to write is like this movie. And Crimes got a lot of inspiration from films like Logan Lucky as well.
Really?
Logan Lucky was a huge inspiration for Crimes of Good Intentions. Yeah. Mainly, actually you can see it a lot, like just with the cast. Maybe not the setting and everything. Like it's a super, Southern film kind of like it's got this. It's like half heist film, half like race car movie almost. But it's good. I love Logan Lucky.
Yeah, I mean, I want to rewatch it now. I don't remember loving it when I saw it, and to be honest, I can really only remember that Daniel Craig's Southern accent in this movie is pretty great, and
right.
The prisoners are like waiting for Winds of Winter to come out. The sixth Game of Thrones book. I thought that plotline was really funny. Did take a look at the writer of this movie. This is her only movie that she's written.
Oh,
Isn't
Rebecca
that crazy?
Blunt? Yeah.
Yeah, well, and her real name's Jules Asner. And she has a really bizarre career.
Really?
Besides acting in Logan Lucky, she directed some random movie in the 80s, starred as herself in like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and then wrote Logan Lucky.
What the crap?
Yeah, I'm like, who are you? How do you... What?
That's crazy.
Yeah, but I'll definitely rewatch Logan Lucky sometime. And now I am starting to see how it could have influenced Crimes of Good Intentions.
Yeah.
Damn.
For sure. Yeah, I love it. It's great.
I'll give it another chance for you, baby. I will. Oh, thank you. You're too generous.
What's your next one?
Oh, I think my next one. Okay, I could pick. I'm a strong lad.
Do it.
I gotta throw Empire Strikes Back in there.
Hell yeah.
You know, I was gonna be all proud and not throw Star Wars in there or whatever, but that's denying who I am. I love the original trilogy so much.
Oh yeah.
And Empire's my favorite. I mean, not just because people tell you it should be your favorite, but like, I mean, really, there isn't a Star Wars film as brilliantly plotted, as wonderfully thrilling, or as just engaging as Empire Strikes Back. I mean, really, it just feels like even if there weren't Return of the Jedi, you could look at the character arcs in this movie and still be impressed because all of the characters come out of this movie different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they all start in very distinct... I think Empire Strikes Back is the best example of the hero's journey you can bring up. Even though it doesn't get all the way through the hero's journey, I think it explores the most interesting stages of that kind of storytelling. And I love it. As a traditional storyteller, I think George Lucas really shines here. And I mean, obviously he had Lawrence Kasdan to help him out. Maybe that guy was carrying a lot more weight than we initially realized now that the prequels have happened. But also Lawrence Kasdan wrote Solo, so who knows?
Yeah. True. Yeah, I mean, I agree though. The Empire Strikes Back is like the quintessential for like that type of story for the, I just lost it, the journey, the hero's journey. And it is a very engaging film. One of the best plot twists of all time. And
I mean, I guess I've kind of neglected to mention how it applies to me, but I really just love science fiction in all forms. Like, this could have easily been like Blade Runner 2049 or crap, why am I struggling to think of science fiction movies I love? Or like Alien or something like that.
Right.
But I feel like Star Wars is the great gateway drug into all of science fiction, and therefore
This is true.
this is my representative on this list.
Heck yeah.
Do you have a big old representative of a big old portion of you, or are you just feeling like a darn fool and you only brought 4 movies to talk about?
No, I do. I actually do have a big representer of one of my favorite genres. And yeah, it's the Western genre. And
I hope you say one of the movies I had to leave off.
I'm probably not going to.
Damn it.
Because technically it's not a movie, it's a miniseries. But my family, when I watched this with my family, we watched it like it was a movie. Like, we owned the VHS tapes of it. And so I just thought it was one big-ass long 6-hour movie. And that's Lonesome Dove.
Okay, yeah. That was not what I left off.
I'm curious, what'd you leave off?
Fistful of Dollars.
Oh, I almost put that on here. I'm not going to lie.
Lonesome Dove. Oh my God. It has got insane critical acclaim, man.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Well, I've never heard of this, though.
Really?
Not even once.
Dude, okay, so it's like star-studded. We got Robert Duvall, Tommy Lee Jones, Diane Lane, Danny Glover's in here, Steve Buscemi is in here, okay? It's stacked, and the cast is honestly the best part of this. I'm going to call it a film just because I know it is a film, but it's a miniseries. But it's the best part of this film. I think it represents my love. It's going to be my representative for my love of the Western. It's probably one of the. It's cited as like one of the greatest Western novels ever made. It's adapted from Larry McMurtry's book of the same name, and it is just insane how well the characters in this are written. And like the production design on this thing is staggering. It's, I still can't get over that Robert Duvall and Tommy Lee Jones are in the same film together. And it's this fucking good. They do such a great job with everything. The book, it's adapted almost word for word from the book, which is why I think it's so good, because the book is so good. Or look, they say it's so good. I haven't gotten to read the book, but it is on my reading list. It's just so fucking big. It's a huge book. It's a daunting read, and honestly, if you're coming into this thing, it's kind of a daunting watch because it's split into 4 parts, and each part is an hour and a half long. But if you ever get the time, just please watch Lonesome Dove. It is so fucking good. It's probably the best. It's like probably one of the best miniseries as well. Like, obviously they couldn't condense it down to 2.5 hours for a movie. I wouldn't want them to, because it's perfect as is. And it's like, if anybody asked me like, what got you into Westerns? Lonesome Dove did. Lonesome Dove and this other movie called Young Guns, but I've talked about Young Guns before. But I would say Lonesome Dove is like actually good, whereas Young Guns is kind of like bad, but I love it. No, Lonesome Dove is a masterpiece.
Fuck yeah, man. I'm just reading about it, and I'm intrigued. I'm just so upset. I've never heard of it before. I feel tricked. I feel like the Western gods have forsaken me. I love their genre too. I don't know what I did wrong.
You can trace a lot of the interest in like the later revival kind of the Western in the late 80s to the 90s can be traced back to Lonesome Dove coming out. It generated audiences kind of like interest in Westerns again. And that was like, I don't necessarily think it's a reconstruction. It's like part of the Reconstruction era of Westerns. But it's definitely got a lot more nuance than older Westerns. Does that make sense? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
it just brought in the thought to Westerns. You don't
right.
see the flashy spaghetti Westerns anymore. in large part because of this movie, you know, questioning that life, or not movie, miniseries, questioning that lifestyle and bringing more nuance to it. I see what you're trying to say, baby.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, it's good. I'd highly recommend everybody try to give it a watch. Because it's so entertaining too. Like it's not even boring at all. Like it is so fucking entertaining. You will not want to turn it off. I'm due for a rewatch, honestly.
That's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
I'll check it out. It's definitely on my watch list now.
Fuck yeah, man. What's your fourth film?
My fourth film. I'm gonna have to go with Mulan.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have any other animation representation on here. This was really hard. I almost picked Spirited Away or something akin to that, or like End of Evangelion, because I do love anime. But Mulan is just one of the most near and dear films to my heart. I mean, it's definitely not the most thought-provoking movie ever made or anything, but I don't care. I've seen it so many times, and it's really important in my family. It kind of gives you a glimpse into the soft spot I have for the Disney Renaissance, especially anything from the 90s, pretty much, from Disney is beloved in my household and in my family, and I just really... I think animation was so fine back then. I just really liked that the apex of 2D animation is what I'll call it, because like they did so much crazy shit in the 90s with
Right.
and with Lion King too. Like
Yeah.
I just love that era of filmmaking, and I just love animation, and I'd be remiss if I didn't bring it up, you know, that animation is just such an impressive art form, and I don't think I would ever be talented in 10... I would never be talented enough in 10 lifetimes if I studied the craft. Like, to see this shit that people pull off is just incredible to me, and
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Definitely.
I don't know if Mulan represents the apex of animation, but, you know, it's what does it for me.
For you,
I love it.
yeah, for sure. I definitely remember watching it when I was younger. And the fighting sequences were so cool.
Have you seen it recently?
I haven't. No, not in recent years.
So you should know the song slap too, Dan.
Yeah, true. The songs do. I only remember. Actually, I don't remember any of them. I know that
You don't remember "Be a man, you must be swift as a copyright."
that's the one. Maybe I'm confusing it with another one, but there is one song I know that has gotten revival because I think people use it on... I saw some videos where people use it on TikTok a couple times.
Is it "Reflection"? The
Possibly.
one where she's singing, you know, "Who is that girl I see staring straight?"
Yes, it's
Back
that
at
one.
me. That one's great too. One of the great all-time ballads, really.
Yeah.
I fucking love... well, and maybe that's another aspect of Mulan I really like, is that it's a musical sometimes.
Yeah.
And I just really like the Disney animated musicals too. Like, I just have such a soft spot for most of them that come out. Like, honestly, when a Disney movie sucks, it's usually you know, straight storytelling, no songs or anything. Or,
Yeah.
you know, a strong lack of songs.
For sure.
What's another... Well, or I guess what's your last movie that represents you, bro?
I didn't realize we were here. Yeah, my last one. You kind of called me out earlier. You mentioned it when I was talking about Gore Verbinski. I would say Rango is that one movie that I identify with heavily, specifically like the main character of Rango. I remember when I saw it. It came out in 2011, so it was... Oh, by golly, it was 10 years ago I saw it in the theater, and I thought...
Why?
Yeah, I thought, you know, I really like this Rango character here. I kind of see where he's coming from here. And it's also like rooted in like Western, you know, mythology. It is a Western. It's an animated Western, which is like awesome, but it's 3D animated. And I think I remember a lot of people saying the animation in Rango was like really bad, but I don't get that argument at all. I think it's pretty fucking good. I know I'm not as akin to, animation as maybe some other people are, so my opinion may be invalid from that, but I think Rango is really well animated, and I think it's got a really kick-ass story. It's weird. It is really weird. But I love the story. I love the screenplay. And I love the characters. I think Johnny Depp as Rango is a perfect voice casting. Gore Verbinski, he makes some really interesting films, and I think Rango is one of his best that he's ever made. And I would say if anybody was like exactly what this list is, how can I get to know you better? Watch Rango, bro. Rango is just me. I love Rango.
I did feel your energy when I was watching it. I was like, Casey's in this room.
True.
Ironically, I don't think you were in that room, but there were a lot of people there because we were watching it.
I do remember.
But it was at your house without you.
Yeah, I do remember. Was I at work or something?
You must have been.
Yeah.
I don't see why else there would be Rango on without you.
Right. Yeah. I should have been there. But
Important cultural milestone. For sure,
right.
Rango.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's mine. I love Rango. Watch Rango if you haven't, bro. Rango's fucking badass. I love it. But what is your top film?
not my top.
No, not your top.
Oh, no.
But your...
Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, sorry. That's so much pressure, babe. I was about to have to revise my whole list again. I would say my top would have to be... Not my top, sorry. Just one of those essentials.
Yeah.
Truman Show.
Oh, hell yeah.
I fucks with Truman Show. I think Peter Weir is just one of the most like underrated like directors out there. Like Man Made, Dead Poet Society, and Truman Show both. He made that Jeff Bridges movie Fearless, which is also really good, and people should watch that. I love this director. I love Andrew Nichols as a screenwriter most of the time, and I just love movies like this that take thought-provoking ideas, things that we don't know for certain, like that our lives could all be like a simulation, and they engage with it in such a humorous and honestly prescient way. Like the fact that the Truman Show kind of predicted reality television a little bit, because I would say it was much classier the way it was portrayed in Truman Show.
Right.
I fucks with that so much. And also, it's just such a delightful movie to me. Like, I never get bored of watching it, and I don't know what it is about it. Like, maybe it's Jim Carrey's, like, really great performance. Maybe it's the way all of the actors are doubly acting. Like, they're acting like they're actors, and then they turn it off, like, in another moment. Like, Laura Linney is definitely giving, like, an Oscar-worthy performance here because she is in an ad one moment, and then she's in character, and then she's out of character, and her character is trying to cover for herself in character. It's like amazing. It's like, I love that aspect of it, and I never get tired of like watching it with like, new details in mind every time.
Right.
And there's so many like little background props that add to it. Like there's a poster at the travel agency that says this could happen to you, and it's like an airplane getting snapped in half like by lightning. There's just so many little touches in this movie that I love, and it's very dear to me, and I would never say no to someone wanting to watch it. In fact, last year I found myself in a position of watching it only 4 days apart. So I watched it with one group of friends, and then Luke was like, I've never seen it. And I was like, okay, time to watch it again.
Yeah, I remember him telling me how much he loved it. And I know you've mentioned how much you love it as well.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it
good,
a couple.
good.
I've seen it a couple times. Yeah, it's great.
Good shit, man. Hey,
it is. It was actually recommended to me by my friend Devin, who had watched it, and he was like, bro, I love this movie, and I know you will too. Please watch it. So I was like, okay. And I was like, wow, you were very fucking correct. This movie is amazing.
This might be controversial. I'd say this is a much more accessible movie than The Matrix for, like, people who are trying to get into, like, philosophical ideas about, like, what's real and what's not,
Yeah,
But-
yeah.
And I think it's a better time with the family too. Why is that man shooting up those nice police officers at that building?
Right. Yeah, I agree. It's
Man, no Criterions for well, maybe. Is The Room in the Criterion collection yet?
No, should be. Let me see. No Criterions for us. Not even on my full top 10 list, I don't think. Well, maybe. Is Whiplash in the Criterion?
Probably. Well, if it isn't, it probably will be in the future. I have Parasite as one that I almost brought up, and I feel like if that's or Fargo. Probably Life Aquatic is in there.
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like a Wes Anderson movie comes out, they give it about 2 months, and they're like, it's in there.
That's true.
But I like that. I like that the like cinephile in us is there for sure, but we're not snobs, we like what we like.
Exactly.
And Gore Verbinski, for example, it's never been like a critical darling. And I love that you love him. And I love hearing about that, man.
I know. Thank you. I love hearing your takes as well.
Hey, I gave you Tommy Wiseau, essentially easiest target for critics ever.
That's very true. I was always what's the word? Confused when you brought up The Room as you saying that you loved it. I could never tell if you were being sarcastic or not, but now I know. Now I know.
Yeah, I guess I feel like people could walk away from this episode and be like, is there a level of snarkiness or sarcasm here? And I mean, I just, I'll acknowledge it's terrible, and maybe that makes me sound like insincere, but like, I think if you love something, you love it despite its flaws. And I love The Room because of its flaws, which makes me super love. And super love is real. Go out and find the person who makes you in super love. Okay?
Hell yeah. Yeah, everybody should know we're not being sarcastic about any of these films.
We've never been sarcastic once in our goddamn lives.
Yeah, definitely not.
Never.
Ever.
Wait, holy shit, Casey, do you see who that is outside the window?
Oh shit. Who is that? I see him, but
hey, I'm the guy with the gun, and now I've got tentacles because of butterfly effect shit. Oh shit, Casey, he's got tentacles now. Get down.
Okay, I'm getting down.
You don't know who this man is, but every 39 minutes and 11 seconds he's been coming on our podcast and he's been shooting, and I went back in time and I tried to stop him, but clearly some kind of butterfly effect thing has given him tentacles. He's just too strong. We're going to have to go back in time, and you're going to have to let him shoot the gun. Stop me from stopping him. Casey, here's my time traveler.
Okay.
Go. Now. Okay.
Isaac, there's no time to explain. I have to kill you.
Wait, no, there's a man outside with a gun and he's... Wait, what?
I know. So yeah, that's our list for today, guys.
Thanks, Casey, for having me on again. The Muppets are always very happy to come on the pod, I'm sorry that your co-host... I'm sorry that your co-host, Joe Rogan, couldn't be in today. What with COVID-20 going on and everything, but, life happens.
Shit. I gotta go back.